Thank you for being here with me today. My name is Abay Desi. I am the Associate Director of the Levine Scholars Program, and I'm excited to have a little bit of time with you to be able to go over all the wonderful things that our Premier Merit Scholarship has to offer. The Levine Scholars Program is a Premier Merit Scholarship here at UNC Charlotte. It is open to all incoming freshmen of all majors. So as far as when it comes to discipline of study, our Levine scholars are very diverse in terms of their interest. However, they do have some defining characteristics that kind of where you see some similarities amongst the students, and these are the criteria that we also utilize to be able, throughout the selection process as well. We'll kind of circle back on these once we get towards the end of the presentation, but I did want to touch on them as we get started. The first item is intellectual curiosity. So how we define that is basically your interest to learn. Like I said, the scholarship is open to students that want to pursue anything here at UNC Charlotte. So you get to pick what you want to study, but we ask that you come in with an eagerness to learn. As one of the ways that we evaluate your future performance academically is also by being able to look at how well you've done in high school. So when we talk about academic excellence, we are looking at the types of courses that you've taken, the rigor of those courses, as well as how well you've performed. There's no expectation that you are earning straight A's, but the expectation is that you are always challenging yourself when it comes to your academics. The next piece of it is leadership. Now, for us, we define leadership in both formal and informal capacities. So if you are the type of student who is involved in things where you have an official role, that plays a factor. But also there are responsibilities that you can have, say, within your family, within your community, that may not necessarily assign you a specific title, but it also does come with leadership experience. And then civic engagement is kind of a tie-on to that. We are looking for students who think beyond themselves. So as you are getting involved in things, it is not just about what it can do for you and possibly about the skills that you can take away from it, but it's also what you can give back in terms of your involvement. And then really the one theme that ties all Levine scholars together is that desire to make a difference. Now, I mentioned that it is the Premier Merit Scholarship. So what I mean by that it probably prompts the question of what are the benefits of the scholarship? So as you can see on the screen, it is a full ride scholarship, which means all of your mandatory fees are going to be covered through the scholarship. So that covers your tuition, room and board, as well as your meal plan. But in addition to it, there are additional enrichment and enhancement opportunities that encompass the program. So those are professional development opportunities, their mentorship, it's both from peers as well as faculty and staff, and then of course things such as priority registration and funding for summer enrichment experiences as well. I think one of the things that makes the Levine Scholarship Program very unique compared to other scholarship programs is that the scholarship provides funding for students to participate in 4 different summer enrichment programs. Now, the summers, the way they are structured is the first summer experience and the second summer experience are fixed in time. So the first summer experience is going to be NOLS, which is a National Outdoor Leadership School. So students have the opportunity to travel to Wyoming as a cohort, and for about 26 days they will journey through a national park while learning some very valuable skills about leadership, teamwork, learning about themselves, which are all really skill sets that become very useful when they arrive for campus in the fall. Now, NOLS will take place the summer between you graduating from high school and starting off your freshman year. So that's the first experience that you will partake in as a Levine scholar, and that actually even happens before you step foot here on campus in the fall. In your second summer, the expectation for the scholarship is that you partake in a minimum of a 5-week nonprofit internship. The nonprofit internship is to give you really just a better introduction into Charlotte, the various different needs that are here in Charlotte. So when we get to the civic engagement component of your scholarship requirement, you have essentially an organization that you've worked with. Hopefully you've had the opportunity to learn about the need that this specific nonprofit organization serves. And the way that the nonprofit internship is structured is to give you an insight into that organization from the service line all the way up to the decisions that the executives have to make. So our scholars who participate in this internship will work with the nonprofit at the service line. So for example, to use Habitat for Humanity as an example, you can be on the work site, so meaning that you are working to fix homes. You could be working in the restore, but you will also work with the marketing team. You will also work with the board as well to really learn how that organization is run from the top all the way down to the service line. The following summer, so this experience along with your study abroad experience, students really get to pick when they do this. Part of the reason for that is different majors have different academic requirements. So for example, for some, you really have the ability to weave in a pre-professional experience along with a study abroad experience anytime throughout your 4 years, while some may push you to have to do it in the first 2 years of your academic career or really in the last 2 years. So when it comes to the pre-professional experience, you get to pick working along with the Levine Scholar staff, with the faculty members in your department, to decide when you get to do this. The exciting thing about your pre-professional internship is that you'll have to do it for a minimum of 6 weeks, but we have had some students who will do it up to 9 months as part of a co-op, so you get to pick that. You can do it here in Charlotte, anywhere in the state of North Carolina. You also have the ability to do it anywhere in the US as well. And in the past, we've also had a few students who did their pre-professional experience abroad. Now that will require a little bit of work to be able to do that, which means you'll have to get started a little bit earlier. But again, the pre-professional experience is to give you exposure into the field that you want to go into, is to give you the opportunity to have those connections, so that way when you are getting ready to graduate, you have professionals in that field you can reach out to, and is to also give you professional work experience prior to graduating as well. Now, the one element about the Levine Scholars Program that I think a lot of the scholars get to enjoy is the international experience. Now, we have been fortunate enough that we've had students travel to 45 countries. They've been to all the continents with an exception to Antarctica. And our students have the ability to either do summer programs, they've also done semester-long programs, and some of the scholars also have traveled more than one time as well as a result of the Levine Scholarship. Now, one thing that our program started doing a few years ago is referred to as the Levine Signature Series, which is a study abroad that takes place in the summer, and it is conducted by our program director, which is Dr. Zablosky, along with our faculty fellow. In the past, the program has traveled to China. It will be traveling to Costa Rica in the future. It has also traveled to South Africa as well as Jerusalem. So this is really a great way to study abroad, especially if it's your first time out of the country. You have the ability to do it within the comfort of a group of individuals that you know, along with faculty members that you know as well. So these are the 4 unique experiences of the Levine Scholars Program that I think makes the scholarship very unique. Now, when we kind of talked about the characteristics of a Levine Scholar, we started off by saying civic engagement and the desire to make a difference was something that really brought all the Levine Scholars together. As part of the scholarship, one of the things that you receive is an $8,000 grant, which will give you the ability to create a community engagement project that you have designed yourself. So part of how the scholarship is structured Between your freshman and sophomore year, you have the ability to do an internship with a nonprofit. For a lot of our scholars, that is kind of when they first start to think about the civic engagement project. The way the civic engagement project is set up is you'll work very closely with our faculty fellow to, like I said, identify a need in the greater Charlotte area. Second, you have to identify a partner. So that can either be a department on campus, the university itself, or really a nonprofit in the greater Charlotte area that is already working in that space. And then you will basically institute a program that can hopefully become a legacy program, as some of our scholars have had the opportunity to be able to do so. So this civic engagement grant really gives the scholar the opportunity to go through the full process of how do you identify a need, how do you identify a community partner, and how do you go about engaging these real-world issues with a solution that you develop yourself. And hopefully that program that you've developed is something that can certainly outlast you in terms of lasting as a program. Now, one thing that is not necessarily a requirement of the program, but certainly a big push from our program, is undergraduate research. Now, our faculty fellow that I've mentioned prior to, in combination with the Office of Undergraduate Research, will push all of our scholars to participate in some form of undergraduate research prior to graduating. So if you are an individual who is thinking about graduate school down the line, and I know we're talking about getting into college, but also in the same process referring to graduate school as well. But if that is something that you want to do down the line, participating in undergraduate research is something that would definitely give you a leg up. One, from the ability to learn how research is conducted, and then also you're better fine-tuning that skill set as it is something that you will need in your next step. Now, one question that we get all the time is, what can the Levine Scholars Program do for me? So that is a question that we consistently get from high-achieving students such as yourself. The best way that I've been able to answer that question really is where ultimately you'll kind of end up is going to be at the intersection of your ambition as well as what you are willing to do during your 4 years that you are here with us. The Levine Scholars Program will provide you with all the resources that are necessary to be successful. So from the academic advising to having faculty and peer mentors, and also providing you with those 4 summer experiences that I mentioned as well. And as you can see on the screen, the students that are graduating from this program have gone on to work for companies that are household names. We also have students who have done internship at both for-profit or government organizations that are household names as well. So really kind of the best way that I can answer for you in terms of what the Levine Scholars Program can do for your 4-year experience at the undergraduate level is to really provide you with a very enriching experience so that way you are able to pursue whatever goals that it is that you have set for yourself. So whether that be graduate school, going right into the work world thereafter, starting a nonprofit, working for a nonprofit, the Levine Scholars Program will support you in terms of what your goals and aspirations are. Now, kind of to bring it back full circle, I'm sure you're wondering, what are some of the things that are required in order for a student to apply, as well as to be eligible for the scholarship? Now, the way the process starts for the Levine Scholars Program is that it will start in the fall semester of your senior year. Now, what I would encourage you to do prior to that point is to certainly learn more about the scholarship program to see if this is a good fit for you. Now, once you've done that part at the beginning of the fall semester, the portal will open up for your school counselor to submit a nomination for you. Now, to be able to access the scholarship application, you do have to be nominated by your school counselor, and that has to take place by October 8th of your senior year. So please make sure that you keep that date in mind. In addition to being nomination, then you will have the opportunity to submit both your university application by November 1st, and then your supplemental material materials for the Levine application all will be due by November 8th of your senior year. And of course, this information is also available on our website, but really the big date that I want you to take is your nomination has to come in by October 8th. To be able to apply for the scholarship or receive the scholarship, an individual does have to be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. Beyond that, as far as what our office looks at over the course of the various different processes, the first piece is going to be intellectual curiosity and kind of your academic performance. So we are looking to see the types of classes that you've taken. We're looking to see how well you've done, but most importantly, we are looking to see if you have challenged yourself over the course of your 4 years in high school. Beyond that, we will be looking to see what you've done outside of the classroom. So when I mentioned a little bit earlier in the presentation about formal and informal leadership opportunities, so we look to see what are the kinds of things that you do, what occupies your time when you are not in the classroom. So these are organizations that you can be involved with in your high school. These are activities that you can be involved with in your community, and these could also be things that you've started yourself as a result of a need that you've identified as well. And then kind of the last piece of it is going to be your commitment to community service. So of all these things that you've been involved with, we hope that they have been tremendous enrichment opportunities for yourself, but we also want to see that you've been able to give back to the organizations and to the things that you're involved with as well. And then of course, kind of the thing that ties it all together is really your ultimate leadership style. And we're hoping that ethics is something that you infuse into your leadership style as well. All right, so this is where I conclude my presentation. As you can see, my contact information is listed there. So I would strongly urge that you use these next few months to learn more about our program. For those of you that are currently juniors, at the start of your senior year, please keep in mind that is when the nomination period will begin, and which means kind of the application period will kick off for you. But really between now and that point, if you have any questions about the program, after you've had some time to spend on our website, please do not hesitate to reach out. All right, thank you so much for being here with me and taking the time to listen and learn about the Levine Scholars Program.